What is going on, everybody? And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my best free play for tonight's Tuesday, November 17th matchup between the Buffalo Bulls and Bowling Green. All I ask in return is that you do subscribe to my channel and drop the video a like as well. So the game opened up as a 31-point favorite towards Buffalo to beat Bowling Green, with the total opening up at about 58.5, and I haven't seen much line movement, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go into each team and kind of give my analysis on what I think and kind of what went into my free pick, which I will be giving you guys at the end of today's video. So Buffalo did open up with a 2-0 start. They bet the Northern Illinois Huskies by 49-30. That game actually covered the 14-point spread, and it did go over the posted total of 52.5. And they also bet the Miami Redhawks 42-10. They also did cover that spread pretty nicely as well. That was only a 7.5 spread that they needed to cover. So they covered both their spreads. That total actually stayed under the total of 56.5. So Buffalo has covered both their spreads, with one going over and one going under the total. So now moving into Bowling Green, they started off 0-2 for the season. They lost against the Toledo Rockets. They actually lost 38-3, so they kind of got pounded in that game, and that they didn't cover the spread in that game as well, and that stayed under the total. The spread for them to cover was 24 points, and the total was 62.5. And the next game that they lost was 62-24 against Kent State, which put a pounding on them. Kent State put up 64 points. That's a lot of points to put up. But Bowling Green did manage to get 24 points in that game. And once again, they didn't cover the spread of 20.5, and that actually went over the total in that game. So that was kind of the analysis of the last couple games between both the teams. Now I kind of want to move into some trends. So some of the noteworthy trends is Buffalo is actually 5-0 ATS in their past 5 games. They're also 5-0 ATS in their past 5 games as a favorite, which they are in this game, being a 31-point favorite. And they're 6-0 ATS in their past 6 games against Bowling Green. And they're also 6-1 against the spread in their past 7 games on the road against Bowling Green. And the road team in this series is actually 10-4 ATS in the past 14 meetings. So those are some pretty important trends that I found to be pretty good in terms of Buffalo covering the spread. They're pretty good at covering the spread. Like I mentioned, I think 31 points is a lot of points to lay against Bowling Green, who has been known to kind of, in their previous matchup, they actually put up 24 points. So that's I'm going to dive a little deeper into my free pick for that, but I think that 31 points is quite a large number for them to actually cover the spread, even though they have been known for covering the spread. So some of the trends for Bowling Green is that they're 0-5 ATS in their last 5 games. They're 3-15 ATS in their past 18 games at home, and they're 1-6 in the last 7 games ATS against Buffalo. So they haven't been really good for covering the spread, and that kind of showed in their previous matchups as well. Like I mentioned, that they didn't cover the spread in their previous 2 games this year. So with that being said, I'm going to look into the offense and the defense. I'm more leaning towards the total in this one, just because I feel like 31 points is a lot for Buffalo to lay against Bowling Green, and I could definitely see this one being a little risky, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bowling Green did in fact cover that 31 spread. So I think that for this free play, I think we're better off going over the total in this one, 58.5. The reason being is that Buffalo actually averages around 45.5 points per game, with 265 coming from passing and 191 coming from rushing. And the Bowling Green defense hasn't been really great this year as well. They're giving up 293 passing yards and a whopping 302 rushing yards. So I think that with that being said, also, Bowling Green is actually only averaging around 13 points a game. So I think that with it being the total going over the number, I could totally see Buffalo getting into the 40s, maybe high 40s, even putting up 50 against Bowling Green. And even if Bowling Green does get their 13 points, I could easily see this one going into the 60s. So for me, my free play on this game is going to be going over 58.5.